Athelia and Hoskiah, a Morality Tale, Part 8. The tables have turned. Will Hoskiah and Athelia live happily ever after? SOF 757. Lecu stepped back from the presence of Isaiah, and he raised his left hand, and there were loud thunders. He raised his right hand, and fire leaped forth from the ground, and a great cloud of smoke went up. And he said unto Isaiah, Great Isaiah, this is your hour. You are the Lord of this land and place. Therefore, command as you will. Already the night is more than half spent, and speeds to its closing. Hear now my words. This I say unto you. Enter now into my magic tent, which stands strangely adorned, over against the edge of the feasting place. The tent wherefrom I issue forth my magic, to which I return to replenish my strength. When it is done, therein is the fount of my magic, the hub of the great circle of power. Remain in there until the first red glow from the fires of the underworld appears in the night sky. Then, Lord, I will come into the tent, and standing against it will call forth the Lord of this land and place, and behold, a new Lord will stand before the gathering in manly strength and vigor, a man among men, and a fitting master for this household. He will be such a man that I, even I, Lecu, the master of magic, will be the first to proclaim him. SOF 758. So Isaiah entered into the tent of Lecu, the magician, and as he passed within, Lecu gave him the great bow of Hoskiah, saying, Take this with you, for its magic is great, and may well be needed. It is a worthy weapon for the Lord of this land. Hoskiah will need the bow, and since everyone will be watching, it is best the bow already be there. SOF 759. Then the gathering spoke among themselves, and waited, singing women whiled away the hours, and as the first arrows of morning light struck the night sky, Lecu arose and stood against the tent of magic. Lifting up the door, he cried out in a loud voice, Great Lord of these lands and place, come forth to your heritage. Behold your Lord. And as he spoke, lo, Hezekiah stepped forth into the morning light, arrayed as a lord, and girded about with belt and sword. He wore a helmet, and in his hand was the great bow. SOF 760. The sound of a great sigh passed through the gathering, and men looked one at the other. They were bemused, not knowing what to do, for there was magic about them. And Lecu lifted up his voice in the silence and cried, Behold, I have brought forth a man among men as Lord of these lands and place. Will you not therefore receive him in a befitting manner? And men spoke among themselves, saying, This is one having the appearance of Hezekiah, whom we know, in truth, the Lord of these lands and place. He is a man indeed, if it be he. Has magic drawn him back from the grave? Or has the spirit of Isaiah clothed itself in the form of Hoskiah? Then first one and then another hailed the man before them, saying, This is a man among men, if not our Lord Hoskiah. Then a great shout of Hoskiah went up, and Hoskiah stood stern before them. SOF 761. Now there were those among the gathering who stood silent, the half men and wanton woman, who were about the table where Isaiah had been, set pale and silent, clinging to each other. They said among themselves, If indeed this be Hoskiah, where then is our Lord Isaiah? And a man stood up among the gathering, shouting, This is not Isaiah, transformed by magic, but Hoskiah, who with this evil magician has worked a trick. Isaiah is not transformed, but murdered. Let him be avenged. And reaching back, he took a javelin and sought to hurl it at Hoskiah. But the bow in the hand of Hoskiah bent, and before the javelin could be sped, an arrow pierced the man's throat. Then the bow sang twice more before the enemies of Hoskiah departed. SOF 762. Now it came to pass that those remaining gathered about Hoskiah, and rejoiced, saying, Hoskiah is indeed the rightful lord, and none but he ever bent bow, as we have seen a bow bent this dawning. And Hoskiah passed through them to the seat of Isaiah, and those gathered there shrank from him. And he swept the table clean, and drove away those who stood about it, saying, Begone, lest I have you seized and beaten. For you befoul the earth, and serve neither God nor man. They departed, saying, This is indeed Hoskiah, and not Isaiah. And Isaiah was seen no more by the eyes of men. SOF 763. Now after 3 days had passed, Lecu said to Hoskiah, The time has come when I must depart. I shall go unto my king, who is now your king, and speak with him concerning you. It is well that I go now, and dally not unduly here, for mayhap as things are, he will lend a willing ear to my words. But if I dally here with you, others will gain his ear with another account. So Lecu departed, and Hoskiah was grieved. SOF 764. Before he left, Lecu was given horses and servants, also slaves and asses with food, for the journey. And Lecu said to Hoskiah, We shall meet again, for it is decreed in the book of heaven. Is the story over? Has any real lesson been learned by Hoskiah? Athelia has met every challenge and rose above herself. Each time, Isaiah has fallen prey to his own nature and is seen no more. And what of Lecu? Is his role finished?